How tired are you? I'm like super tired. But I won't take much time, hopefully, because when I was listening to all the other presentations, I felt that my presentation will just sum up everything what has been already discussed. So I named it quite fancy, crack the code, you know, for HR people. It's kind of might sound funny. But actually, the message is exactly as our birthday boy said, how to gather the requirements or importance of gathering proper requirements for your system implementation. And yes, I'm LIESMA. Why do I even speak about these topics? Because I have spent with HR technologies around 10 years. I've been part of bigger and smaller organizations, mostly with the bigger ones. I have worked both on requirement preparation and implementation projects with different systems. And my belief is that there's no perfect solution. There isn't. It's just, does the solution match the requirements that we have stated? But let's start. So how do you think? Are HR implementation system projects challenging? Yes? Like, I see nodding, yes. Okay, do you think when the business is deciding we should have HR system or we should have, I don't know, new CRM or something for logistics, which one is easier to sell to the management? Yeah, all this, and all this was stating exactly that part. Yes, exactly. The systems which are generating actual business value, it's rather easier to sell to the management that we need to invest. With HR, it's not the case, and I can tell you why. I have HR background myself, and I know how HR people work. You guys are ready to do anything for the business. You will work days and nights to prepare Excel reports, to draw the Excel organization charts or whatever. You will make things happen because you believe that your work matters. You need to be compliant, you need to follow the legal requirements, and so on and so on. That is my experience with HR. And this is why business is not seeing when something is not working, because you will just spend another 3 or 4 overtime hours and make things happen. But let's go back to why some HR system implementation projects fail, and I listed some of the reasons here, and the majority of them I think we can address if we do proper HR system analysis. The change management, I would say this is something, yes, it's there, but you can hire outsourced consultants. They can help you prepare the implementation plan for the change management. But all the other parts, like poor data quality, you need to address it very early if you have one. If you have not aligned your business needs with the system that you are implementing, again, this is something to be catched early enough. Typically, we don't have proper management of expectations, the scope of the project, what exactly we will be improving. We are sometimes falling for these, let's say, buzzwords in the area and not, again, having proper requirements in place. And as we already spoke, it's rather difficult to have the management understanding and buy-in that we need a new system for HR. And lack of resources, yes, by the way. Typical problem. And my presentation, sorry, it's not showing the titles. It was on your computer, okay. So, milestones of the project. Here we select the vendor, no title for that. Here we sign the agreement with the vendor. Here we start the implementation project. Here we do the testing. Someone mentioned testing, which is important. User testing, meaning not what the system does, but the actual processes. We do the data migration. We go live. Why it's failing? because the project actually starts not with the vendor selection. It starts when you have idea that you need to improve something. So, and this is actual kickoff. And here we have requirements gathering. And this time should take most part of the project. If you do this properly, then this is like smooth journey. Haven't seen in my experience, but no, it should be, because no one has completed this part perfectly. Here I wanted to say that in my experience, I have had this some cases when organizations have spent enormous time on vendor selection, meeting different vendors and speaking like how good is their technology, how they are as a person, like do we have good communication and so on. We decide on the solution and then we start implementing, and that was about the payroll and in Latvia only. And the thing is that the company never asked, can you do this or that type of payroll calculation? So when they started the implementation, it turned out that what they assumed that should be doable in Latvia, because legislation allows to do it, was not possible to do that in that system. So this is why I'm saying that you need to have as detailed analysis of your HR processes as possible. And what you need to achieve with the analysis. You need to have as detailed list of your existing processes as possible. Like if it's about the payroll, then to the level that what type of payments you are making to your employees, how these salaries, where they sum up, from what elements, just list them. Use that during your vendor selection as a demo examples. Ask the vendor, can they actually do this calculation? If you are representing a cross-country business, you for sure need to gather different requirements from different countries or regulatory requirements. No, as I work in SEB, then I have that part as well. But some organizations doesn't have it, and sometimes when you have those, you kind of don't think that this is the first thing that we should address, but sometimes you have to. And also gather and involve your IT colleagues to understand what is currently what you have from the automation perspective, what type of integrations you have, and maybe what is lacking so that you can kind of have it for the future. So as is, this is one part, but you should prepare as is. And to be what you want. Maybe when you think about to be, you probably have met vendors, you know what they do. But you need to list your future state so that it's actually beneficial to the business. So is it improving employee experience with the self-service, digital signing of something? Like what's actual business added value, how it will improve manager and employee journey. Of course, we need to think about HRs. I'm still, even though I'm long away from HR, but I'm still have that mindset. For HR as well, and all this example about calculating the hours that HR is spending on different tasks, this is like make it top one thing to do, because I believe sometimes business does not even know how much HR is putting effort in making things happen. I really suggest to think about processes that you are ready to change and you know what it would mean to change them. Because you might assume that if we speak about, I don't know, sales compensation calculation, that is something standard, that if you have a new system that it will do. But it might in reality be that the vendor is doing this calculation differently, so it means you need to adjust your process, and just have it in mind that sometimes the system might not do how things are done currently in your organization. And if you need to change the processes, you need to change them before the implementation. Otherwise, if you will do it during the implementation, it will be just dead end, and the whole project will be much longer. You need to identify the automation needs, the integrations that you need for the system. And me, as I'm currently representing IT part, not HR anymore, yeah, I didn't say that I'm responsible for access management and HR solutions in SEB Baltic division. At least from my perspective as IT, it's about the maintenance and development of the system, the future possibilities. Meaning, if currently we have several scrambled solutions that each does something, most of them maybe live on premises. So that's, you know, and if we are able to change it, if we are able to get into the cloud, then how much we are saving also on this maintenance. You need to have several roles involved in your analysis task. And here I'm again reminding the one that was said already. I am saying project manager. Your colleague said project owner. I think the owner actually still is HR leadership, but I believe you need to have a project owner, project manager, since this idea is born, that you need a new solution for something. And if you ask me, should the project owner be also HR? No. Ideally, project owner should have project management competence to be able to put the frame when we do what, to follow the timelines and so on. Business analyst is the one who should gather detailed requirements. And this is what I have faced in my experience, that sometimes organizations, because of the lack of the resources, they put these roles together. And then instead of doing actual project management, project manager is writing the requirements, doing the business analysis. And then it just takes much longer time. Also, if the project manager is someone from HR, let's say HR business partner, or your admin payroll team manager, they have their regular work that they still need to do. So focusing on a large project might not be the best thing for them. They just won't be able to manage to do it. You need to have several subject matter experts in the particular area that you are investigating and involve them from day one. Just your payroll people, your recruitment people, comp and ben, whatever roles you have, just tell them that you have this role as a subject matter expert to provide your current situation, explain how it works, describe the processes. Business analyst will sum it up in some common way, probably Excel. That's the best solution that I have faced in my life. But you need this expertise of specific HR area. IT and technology, no, for sure. I would say they should be at the desk about these decisions from idea. Again, depends on the organization. As said, as I'm currently representing rather big organization, I think without IT we can't make any decisions, because it's the overall architecture that we have, what kind of systems we are allowed to use. They sometimes even can challenge the functional requirements. Like if we have some, from process perspective, they might challenge that, why do you want to have that in HR system? Because we have this and that system, maybe we can use it there. So for sure, IT needs to be involved. And the legal and compliance, probably we could have also data management, data governance, and more and more and more. Depends on what project you have, how complex it is, and if it's maybe, sorry, those who work with recruitment, but if it's recruitment system, then probably it's not too complicated. Okay, nice animations. Yeah, so to sum up, how to crack the code with preparing the requirements. So I'm suggesting from day one, when the idea is born, establish the project team particularly dedicated to work on as-is situation. Maybe you don't have a plan to have a system in 2 years, but to start actually working on gathering how currently processes work in your organization, and you document them. You have them in Excel with 500 or more rows, and you know what each row means, what it means in the system, what is the legal thingy that you are doing, or what is something because we are doing it. When you are selecting the vendor, and as I said, there are, I think, no perfect solutions. All of them are good. Question is, do they fit our organization? But really focus what your business need. And I hear today AI and so on, and those are kind of nice buzzwords, but then again, are we actually capable currently to improve something our business is doing with what we have, or we need to have new systems? So really focusing on the business added value, not just features that vendors are promoting. And have the stakeholders involved, which I already said. And that's it. And I think we right on time.